You are with the big story here in the top focus. Today has been yet another day of protests by the PMC Bank depositors. This was in Azad Maidan in Mumbai. And now they're demanding the direct intervention of the state government. It's been close to a month since the RBI imposed restrictions to their accounts in the wake of the 4,000 crore rupees scam. A delegation of the PMC depositors also went ahead to meet with the RBI officials today.
नहीं हमारा पैसा मिला तो हम तो आगे भी फिर एक्शन करते रहेंगे जब तक हमारा पैसा नहीं मिला। पैसा हमारा बड़ी मेहनत का है। हम अपने बिजली के लिए जोड़े अपने लिए तो हमारे इसलिए हम गस्ते में बैठे हैं जब तक हमारा पैसा नहीं मिलता।
ना फडणवीस साहब ने आज फाइनल करना था, वो आज मिल नहीं रहे हैं और आरबीआई ने भी आज जवाब पूरा देना था। हमारे आदमी लोग गए हुए हैं मीटिंग करने और उनके आने के बाद हमको मालूम पड़ेगा भाई क्या फैसला हुआ और जब तक हमको पैसा नहीं मिलेगा हम लोग छोड़ने वाले नहीं।
1 month only before I have put in this bank because we were getting good facilities in bank because our employees were very good and it was nearby and holiday banking was there. Whenever we require money we used to get from them. So this is the thing we have done wrongly. I think what happened actually we were having so much trust on Modi ji. We have given the vote to him and we were very hopeful when he was here. वो मन की बात सुनाते हैं, हमारे मन की बात सुने किस तरह से हम लोगों की रातों की नींद हराम हो चुकी है, हमारा जो जीना हराम हो चुका है भटकते भटकते।
That's the basic plea of the depositors. All they want is access to their own money. And now it's not just a question of losing your money or being blocked from your own money. It's a question of lives being lost because of the stress that this has caused. The latest here being 73-year-old mother of a PMC Bank depositor who died with an anxiety and heart attack in Solapur. Her daughter had over 2 crore rupees in savings in the bank and the family says that the RBI restrictions had left her worried. According to the family, the 73-year-old had no health-related concerns before this, and this is the 5th death related to the PMC Bank scam. Let's get in more details. Our correspondent Santhya with those inputs here. Santhya, this is now growing into a crisis with respect to not just having no access to your money or the fear of losing your money, but the fear of getting this getting to the better of your health. This is causing enough anxiety to people or to people connected to the PMC Bank depositors in causing this nature of stress and loss of life.
Yes, absolutely, Sir. Unfortunately, the alleged scam is costing lives. 4 people have unfortunately lost their lives. In fact, unfortunately, in an earlier protest which was held by PMC depositors, one woman actually fainted. She collapsed. Unfortunately, but look at her condition, look at her situation. She today again participated in the similar protest. We spoke to her also, and today also she was feeling unwell, and we categorically asked her that why was she here, despite the fact that she was not well. Why is she not going back? And she had only one thing to say, that it's her hard-earned money she's talking about, and she cannot afford to not to participate in these protests.
Santhya, these are a string of assurances here that have come through from various quarters now. But today it's not just about being able to celebrate the festival, Diwali, normally, happily, being able to spend your own money comfortably. But it's the worry of whether or not this money is there or not. The scale of the scam there that indicates that perhaps the money is lost altogether.
Yes, of course, Seher, that is one of the major and actually one of the most important and the only concern of depositors as of now, because one thing they have made clear that all they want is their money back. In fact, today, one of the delegation, a group of representatives of PMC depositors who themselves also have account in PMC Bank, they went and met RBI officials and they declared that this year they will not celebrate Diwali at all. They told their problems and challenges faced by them to RBI officials. They came back to Azad Maidan where the protest was happening, and they conveyed whatever the details of of that meeting were. And one of the most important thing was that according to them, RBI officials have given them an assurance that by 30th of October they will issue a press release, they will issue a statement which will talk about the relief which will be given to the PMC depositors, and not in terms of only upgrading the withdrawal limit, but this time it's going to be something conclusive. That's what RBI officials told to that delegation according to the PMC depositors. Sahir.
All right, Santhya, very quickly reiterating what you've just said. This is an update. This is breaking inputs there coming in from our correspondent Santhya there, saying that the depositors, the team of depositors who met with the RBI officials today, have been promised that they would get in an assurance in the form of an official letter here later this month, which is the 30th of October. But Santhya, any more details on with respect to the kind of assurance here? Would this mean the withdrawal cap further being relaxed? Would this mean a workable plan on how they can have access to their deposits? What are exactly to be the contents of this letter on the 30th of October? What is this assurance regarding?
So these were the points on which the depositors spoke to RBI officials. First was they asked what can be done for those who are either facing a health crisis or they have to invest for education of their children or their siblings. What about those people who have marriages planned at their house? Apart from that, what about those who have to file taxes, who have to give insurance money, installments, and what about the housing societies? Because as far as housing societies are concerned, that checks, all those transactions do take place via cooperative banks only. What about those housing societies who have account in PMC Bank? And there were 19 such situations which were listed out by the depositors, and according to them, RBI officials said that all these 19 points will be considered, and very soon RBI will get back to the depositors on what will be RBI's solution to those 19 challenges being faced by PMC depositors. This was point number one, Seher. Apart from that, the delegation spoke to RBI about either the revival of the bank or the merger, whichever option works for the best of the people. To that also, RBI again sought a time frame from 25th to 27th of October and said that they will get back to officials and get back to the depositors and everyone via a press release on 30th of October. Seher.
All right, so we were playing out the timeline to that of what has just been assured by the RBI on our screen as well. This is breaking inputs here on yet another word that is coming from the RBI, which would be officially stated, of course, in the form of a letter later this month. But let's get in a view here from financial planner, Mr. Harsh Rumta, with us over the phone line. Thank you for being with us. In your view, the amount of time that this is taking, the hesitation with which RBI has not been able to come up with quick assurances or quick inputs to the depositors, how do you think this is to fare now?
So I think in the latest round, from what I just heard, they have given a deadline of October 30th, and I think any deadline is a very, very good point. And I think that's great news, because at least we will have some kind of a certainty. See, the situation is not easy, and I think very clearly in terms of resolution, the kind of speed that, say, RBI itself has shown in the past, whether it was when, say, it was the case of GTB Bank way back in, if I am not mistaken, I think it was in 2004 or thereabouts. I think the speed at which literally over the weekend, it was there was a shotgun marriage with Oriental Bank of Commerce that was engineered. I think something similar is what is needed in this case as well.
Right. So we're looking at the RBI today in not having done that, and even in these assurances that come in, it's been a question of the depositors continuously chasing the RBI. in asking them for an update, this has not been exactly a case of the RBI being more forthcoming than what it should have been. Even today, with the timeline that we have today, in the deadline that has been set by the depositors, in only the depositors having pushed the RBI for a meeting for them to divulge more, if at all, if there is a plan at place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this, I mean, even till today, it's been almost been a month since the directions were issued. Till today, we have no idea what is the size of the problem. We have no idea what are the preliminary findings of the team of administrators that has been put in by the RBI. I think the key issue is that RBI is treated the PMC cooperative banks issue as just like any other cooperative bank. I think forgetting the fact
Right.
that I think there are 13 lakh retail depositors directly and much more in the form of the holders of the various housing societies and other cooperative societies, which in turn has an exposure to
Yes,
the
that's
PMC
right.
bank. So I think treating this like any other cooperative bank was a error, and I think which is something that I think RBI will need to correct.
And the RBI could have perhaps had a more humane approach here to this, because people are dying because of the stress that is being caused because of this. Please stay with us here. We also have psychologist Mr. Harish Sethi with us on the phone line. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Shetty. Technically, if these are cases taken to court, it would be said that this is not something that can directly be attached to the PMC crisis. This has been anxiety, heart-related issues that have caused these deaths, and not something that can directly be linked to the PMC scam. Would it be fair to argue it in this manner? Because in a lot of, now we're looking at 5 cases today now so far, all being connected to the PMC deposits.
I think this is a disaster for the families who have been affected. The entire life savings being caught. RBI has been very negligent on 3 counts. Number 1 is they should immediately be completely transparent of the investigations. Number 2 is they should punish their own people who are supposed to supervise these banks and the regulators who are supposed to look after this bank. And number 3, the most important thing, RBI is the papa figure for all the depositors, the father figure as we call them. RBI should clearly tell every depositor that not a penny will go waste and every penny of every depositor will be paid back. That reassurance will save lives. That reassurance will bring down anxiety. That reassurance will help them understand that though it will be delayed, their money will be back. And the 4th most important thing is the state should intervene. The state should have a mental health program for all the depositors right away. Giving interviews on the TV, ministers will not help. A mental health program for all the depositors, and the RBI should play a more proactive role as the father figure.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Shetty, what you're saying effectively here is that it would have helped to have a more humane approach, because this is now not just a case of a loss of money or loss of access to your own money. It's becoming a case of loss of lives here as well. Stay with us, please. Let's get in a word here from NCP leader, Mr. Majid Memon, with us on the phone line. Mr. Memon, in your view, this could have been better handled by both the government and the RBI?
Firstly, I must say that it is indeed very distressing to see the plight of these depositors who are struggling on the street with placards and all kinds of agitation, and they are being obstructed from even entering the Reserve Bank presidency and having a dialogue with the authorities. In fact, they are being treated as though they are the offenders. In fact, they are the victims of the offense. And I have been saying from day one that the first and the foremost thing that is required to be done, even if whether the offences are being investigated or accused are being arrested and seizures, etc., are taking place, the first thing that is required to do is that the investigating agency would do justice to the cause by picking up some huge monies from the accused person, taking the leave of the court to immediately and provisionally disperse that money to the genuine depositors from the bottom. lower class, lower middle class, and all that, so that they can heave a sigh of relief. See, what is happening that their own money they are not getting, and they are being treated as the offenders.
That's right.
It's very sad.
Absolutely. Please stay on with us. Wanting to get in a further quick update from our correspondent Santhya on this here. So Santhya, is there a sense that there's going to be a relaxation as far as medical cases are concerned, on medical emergency, on being able to afford your medical bills here? There could be a relaxation to the withdrawal, and to what extent?
Sir, when these depositors met RBI officials today and they gave a list of 19 situations, 19 conditions under which some relaxation should be given to PMC depositors. So, medical situation was one of them, and one of the most important one of them, because unfortunately most of the people are actually senior citizens here who have medical issues, who have their medical bills. Apart from that, also there are people who have medical cases in the family itself which need to be taken care of, and that's exactly one of the reason that why medical expense, that particular condition makes place in those 19 conditions put up by 19 situations put up by the delegation of PMC depositors. To that, according to the depositors, RBI officials have said that they will consider all these 19 situations, and very soon they will make an announcement regarding this. There's a possibility, because they're going to have this meeting with the governor on 25th of October once he'll be back, according to the RBI officials. And it will be after that, and after 27th, because another meeting is scheduled on 27th, RBI will come up with some changes and announcements.
Yes.
Sahel.
All right. And we had earlier in the day also spoken to the former BJP MP, Mr. Kirit Somaiya, also the complainant here in the PMC's case, saying that he has gotten more assurances in directly having spoken to the Chief Minister and other investigating agencies here on this as well. Take a listen in.
The plan, both the agencies, Enforcement Directorate and Mumbai Police have some attachment, maybe up to 4,000 crores rupees. Now, routine procedures may take a couple of months. So the plan will include appointment of special authority going jointly to the court, both the agency, ED and police, approaching jointly to the court to have a quick disposal of these assets on one side. Secondly, to approach the government and Reserve Bank to make available additional liquidity to the PMC Bank. Third point, to take help of Depository Guarantee Insurance Corporation. Fourth point, we are pushing, these agencies are pushing and pursuing auditors to have additional staff to come out with some findings. So that in next week meeting, we have a figure.
Let's speak to one of the depositors, Mr. Sundar B, with us over the phone line. Thank you for speaking with us here, sir. We understand the kind of stress that this is causing, the kind of anxiety that it has caused to certain senior citizens who have direct deposits or who are connected through family to the PMC depositors here. In your view, should the government or the concerned authorities in the RBI should have gone ahead and dealt with this with a more humane approach, given that lives are being lost now?
See, let me tell you, this has happened on September 24th. And after that, they had enough time. Now, today, I am told that few depositors gone and met the Reserve Bank of India officials. Now, were they waiting for the depositors to go and meet them, and so that they will give them assurance? They could not give this assurance, or whatever that is. This assurance is not an assurance for me, at least. Assurance should be put in writing with a clear-cut plan. Now, you see that, this administrator has been put in place to look after the administration of the PMC Bank and to find out the depth of the problem or the scam that has happened. Now, till date, there is not even a single report that has really come out from the administrator as to what is the magnitude of the scam. And I was just listening to Kirit Somaiya. He was saying that as an auditor. Now,
Right.
let me tell you, why is this auditor not been arrested yet? The auditor, external auditor, who is the person who was mainly responsible for auditing the accounts, and he is supposed to give the annual accounts on a yearly
right.
basis with the audit report, where he states that whatever is the data that has been submitted to him is true and fair view. This is the kind of a statement that the auditors give. Now, why is this auditor being roaming around free? And another thing is, why is there no action taken against the board of directors who are supposed to be protecting the interests of the deposit holders? And they are governed by the rules and regulation, terms and conditions of the appointment of the directors, which is issued by the Reserve Bank of India. Why are these people still roaming scot-free? So these are the questions that I have.
That's right. This is with respect to the current board of directors. It's important to note that the PMC Bank's former director, Surjit Singh Arora, already in custody with it further having been extended to the 24th of October. These are fair points that you've raised, Mr. Sundar. Please stay on with us. Let me get a response here from the psychologist, Dr. Harish Sethi, who's of course been saying how this could have been more carefully dealt with. Because Dr. Shetty, as we've been trying to reiterate this now, in the number of fatalities connected to this, this is now not just mathematical crunching with respect to a scam or a loss of money. This is now going to be with respect to looking at this far more humanely, with respect to lives being lost. If you have depositors having to chase the RBI or chase the state government, this doesn't work as any assurance on ground.
Absolutely. I think there are three things again here. During the riots in Mumbai riots, the police commissioner Samra would talk to the people every day. He would communicate through a press conference, etc. Here also, the one point person from the RBI should be speaking to the depositors every day and communicating them exactly what is happening, and that's number one. Number two is all the depositors should be given free medical care, free mental health care as of now immediately. Number three, justice heals, which means every director of the bank should be arrested and the external auditor should be in jail, should have been in jail long ago. And those responsible in the RBI, their heads have to roll. Because once when you give justice, there is also peace and healing among those who are affected.
Absolutely. Stay with us. We have yet another depositor calling us in at this point. Mr. S. Kumar, please go ahead.
I'm having the account with PMC Bank Andheri branch from last 25 years, and all my saving is there. I want to draw the money now because my daughter is admitted in the hospital. She is a kidney transplant patient, and her kidney is affected due to tension, and her creatinine has become 3 point something, and it is serious thing. And the PMC is not giving, and nor any response from RBI, nor from CM, not from anybody. I want my money immediately, at least roughly about 1 lakh rupees. Otherwise, I will not able to save my daughter. This is my request.
Mr. S. Kumar, appreciate you calling us in at this difficult time, and we're hoping that the nature of assurance here that is coming from the RBI, with the deadline having been set by the depositors now, 30th of October, fix the crisis, give a workable plan that should be implemented on ground is what the depositors here are asking. This will now be needed to be seen through the lens of a human crisis. If this is deteriorating conditions of people, depositors are noticing a dip in their health because of the anxiety that this has caused. We're looking at the 5th death having taken place here. This will now need to be viewed not just as a scam, but a human crisis where lakhs of depositors' lives are affected. Several cases coming up here on anxiety-related illnesses being reported. We hope that this will now be addressed differently. Thank you for being with us.